All right. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sarah. Um, to begin, as always, starting our mornings off nice and easy, finding that comfortable seat in the middle of your mat. You could even sit on a blanket or pillow if you want. That's always an option. Coming to cross-legged here in the middle of our mats and starting to quiet our mind, allowing your eyes to close if you want, having your hands resting on your knees. Begin to feel as if there's a string pulling from the top of your head up into the ceiling. We're elongating the spine. We're creating space in the rib cage here for our breath to expand. And begin focusing on your natural breath here. We're calming down from the workout you just had. We're getting ready for the day. We're taking this time for ourselves. You can choose to set your intention now. Sending yourself peace for the weekend, strength for the rest of your day, love for anyone you come into contact with, and just finding a positive thread that'll guide you through today's practice. For today's breath, we're going to do ocean breath. So, how it works is we're going to take our deep and full inhales, and as we exhale, act as if we're constricting the back of the throat ever so slightly, like there's like a hose, like your throat is a hose being pinched. So, as you exhale, you make that audible sound coming from your throat. When you're ready, on your next inhale, taking a deep and full inhale and exhale. Deep inhale, tightening your throat. Taking two more of these breaths at your own pace. And one more. Really letting your exhale vibrate and energize your body. And returning to your natural breath, taking note of how you feel. Ocean breath is good for like waking your mind up and your body up and sending those vibrations throughout your being. I want you to drop your head down to your chin, letting your head hang low, feeling that gentle pull through the back of the neck, and bringing that right ear to your right shoulder, keeping the left shoulder down, gently stretching the left side of your neck, and dropping the head back. The throat opens up, and the head faces up towards the ceiling. And now your left ear to your left shoulder, and back to center with your chin touching your chest. And continue these rotations at your own pace, keeping them very slow and intentional. We're gently massaging all the delicate areas of our neck, being aware of the gentle movement of each muscle. And make sure to go the other way as well. And just taking one more full rotation. Coming back to your straight stacked spine, back to center. Deep inhale, and we're arching the back, lifting the chest, lifting the tailbone and the chin, creating that C shape. And as you exhale, rounding out the spine here, tucking in the head, drawing the shoulders up towards your ears. And inhale, coming forward, drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale, exhale, rounding the spine once more. And take a few more of these movements at your own pace, making them as big or as small as you feel your body needs. We're really just feeling all the different flexion and extension we could create between each and every vertebrae. We're taking these movements for 2 more breaths. And after your last set, we're coming back to center. This time, inhale, reaching up to the ceiling with both arms, creating a space between your palms. We're reaching up and up, our tailbone pulling down into the earth and our fingertips pulling up towards the sky. Deep inhale here, and exhale, the right hand coming next to you on the mat, and we're leaning over to that side. If you would like to feel a different stretch, you can bend your elbow and rest your hand in between your shoulder blades. We're holding here for a few breaths, keeping your left sit bone, grounded down into the earth, and letting the left side body open up. Take a deep inhale here, and deep exhale. And gently come up, both arms reaching once more up towards the sky, centering yourself here. Inhale, and exhale, left hand comes down, and we're leaning to that side. Once again, you could bend your elbow if you would like. It's easier on your arm. But just letting your upper body lean over to the left, your weight holding and opening your right side of your body. And we're taking a few more breaths here. Once again, letting your inhales gently expand through your right body. And last inhale coming up, reaching towards the ceiling. And this time our right hand is coming behind our seat and our left hand is coming to that opposite knee. Press into that knee and twist over to the right hand side. Allow your gaze to follow over your shoulder to feel the complete spinal rotation. And we're holding here for a few breaths. We're taking one last deep inhale, deep exhale, slowly unwinding the spine, coming back to center. As we inhale, reaching up to repeat on the other side. Exhale, left hand comes behind you, right hand to that opposite knee and twist. We're holding for a few breaths, letting your body gently accommodate. Maybe on the exhales, you push into your knee deeper, whatever's comfortable for you. You're taking one last deep inhale and exhale, slowly unwinding, coming back to facing forward. Placing both your hands on the mat in front of you, begin crawling them away, letting your upper body and your head follow, dropping towards the earth. You're holding here for a few breaths, letting your hips sink down into the mat and letting your fingertips pull your upper body away. You may feel that stretch happening in your lower back here. And crawl your hands to the right, keeping your arms extended, keeping that stretch, just leaning to the right. And we're holding here for another moment in time, allowing your head and your neck to relax as you hold here. And crawling your hands all the way to the left. And holding here for 3 more breaths. And after your last exhale, crawl your hands back to center and slowly walk them back towards yourself. You can bring your hands back to your knees, straightening your spine, finding that tall spine. This time, as we inhale, we're going to open our arms up, and we're about to take a big hug, opening the collarbones. And exhale, hug yourself as tight as you can. Letting your fingers splay across your back as if you're trying to touch them to each other. And we're holding here for a moment in time. If your eyes aren't closed, you can allow them to drift closed. You bring your energy inward, your attention on yourself, your attention on whatever intention you set for today's practice. And now whatever arm is on top, we're going to open our arms up. That arm on top is going to bend and go to touch between your shoulder blades. And that other arm is going to reach behind you, either palms facing or backs of your hands touching your back, whatever is comfortable for you. And we're just reaching our fingertips together as much as you can. If you can clasp your hands, if that's in your practice, you can do that as well. But just finding your stretch here. We're opening the shoulder joints and opening the front body. And we're taking 3 more breaths here. Letting your hand press into your back. And one last deep inhale. Deep exhale, unwinding, letting your arms naturally fall back to your knees. And taking inventory of how you feel before repeating on the other side. This time, deep inhale. Once again, opening the arms up, drawing the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, opposite arm comes on top for a deep hug. And we're just holding here for a moment in time, really focusing your awareness once again on only your breath. And taking one last inhale here. Exhale, letting the arms fall. And repeating with the opposite arm. That arm coming up, bending at the elbow to touch between your shoulder blades. And reaching behind you with that other arm. And you may find that one arm is more flexible than the other. I know that's how it is for me. Really just pushing your body as much as is comfortable for you. And we're holding here for 3 more breaths. And one last deep inhale, deep exhale, dropping the arms back to that seat. Come back, find your center, finding both your hip bones seated firmly on the mat. And we're extending both our legs out in front of us for our seated pike pose here. You could let your hands support your body behind you. And just start taking some gentle movements with your feet here. Point your toes as far away from you as you can. And then flex, pointing your toes towards you. I want you to scrunch your toes as much as you can, and then spread them apart. We're taking a few more moments of this movement here. Really just utilizing all those muscles in our feet. We've been sitting on them. You'll be using them all day. And just letting the blood flow there. And we're coming back to stillness. Finding that straight spine here. Deep inhale, reaching up. And exhale, falling forward. We're hinging at the hips, letting our head fall to our knees, our chest to our thighs. And just finding this fold wherever's comfortable for you. Take a deep inhale, letting your breath expand out through your back body. And exhale, maybe you fall forward a little bit more. And we're holding for 3 more breaths, letting your head naturally hang and relax. And after your last breath, one last exhale, slowly coming back up to that straightened spine. Bend your right knee, placing that foot flat on the mat, hands clasped on your knee, and pull your body towards your leg. We're letting our breath expand that space between our body and our leg. And exhale. If you would like a deeper stretch, you can cross that foot over your other leg. Whatever is comfortable for you. Place your right hand behind your seat, and your left elbow comes to that opposite knee. And we're once again finding that spinal twist. And we're holding here for another moment in time, being aware of taking those deep inhales, letting your stomach expand, that massage, that twist in your midsection. And 2 more breaths here. One last inhale. And exhale, back to facing forward. You could uncross that knee if you had it crossed. And we're letting our right knee fall open, creating that number 4 with our legs here. And both our hands coming to the left side of our mat for a gentle opposite twist. And back to center. Once again, inhaling to reach up towards the ceiling. And exhale, reaching towards your left foot. We're holding here for a moment in time. Feeling that more intense stretch happening through the back of our left leg. And holding here for 2 more breaths. And coming back up 1 vertebra at a time, slowly stacking the spine. Extending out that right foot. And this time we're bending the left knee to repeat on the other side. Hugging that knee tight to your chest. Letting the upper body lift up and towards your thigh. Take a deep inhale and fill that space. And exhale. Once again, you can cross that foot if you want. Find what's comfortable for you. And that left hand comes behind your seat. Right elbow to that knee. And press to rotate over to the left hand side. And take a deep full body inhale here. And deep exhale. We're holding here for 2 more breaths. And as you exhale, coming back to facing forward, uncrossing that leg, placing both your hands on the right side of your mat, and gently leaning to the right. Unwinding back to center, letting the left knee fall open. Deep inhale to reach up. And exhale, reach towards your right foot. Once again, holding here for a moment in time. Feeling gravity pulling your upper body towards your leg. Maybe your hands reach your calf or your ankle or your toes. Just pulling towards that leg. And we're taking 2 more breaths here. And 1 last inhale. 1 last exhale. Coming to be seated with that straight spine. And now bend both your knees, having both your feet flat on the mat. Knees up towards the sky. And taking some gentle windshield wiper movements here, just loosening up those hip joints. Gently massaging the glutes on the mat. And back to stillness. However you want to get there, coming to all fours in the center of your mat here. Finding your all fours should have your wrists stacked under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and finding that level and flat back here. We're creating gentle and small circles with our hips. Maybe they get bigger and bigger as you move. And the opposite direction.
back to center, shifting your weight forward and back just a bit. We're just warming up all these joints, feeling the connection between each joint and our spine from our shoulders to our hips. Back to stillness. This time as we inhale, we're dropping the stomach, lifting the tailbone and the gaze, and finding our cow pose. Deep inhale, deep exhale, rounding out the spine, and dropping to the top of your head, faces your mat, pulling your shoulders up to your ears for our cat pose. And inhale, drop the stomach, drawing the shoulder blades together. Deep inhale, and exhale, rounding the spine. Take a few more of these movements at your own pace. As always, keeping them in tune with your own breath. And just trying to explore that movement between each and every vertebrae. Finding movement throughout your whole spine here. And 2 more breaths of movement. And when you feel ready, back to center, back to stillness. Shifting our weight onto our left leg, into that left knee. Step your right foot between your hands. Finding that comfortable lunge here, keeping each knee at about a 90-degree angle. Finding your balance here. Finding your center of gravity in your hips, and your weight pressing firmly into your front foot and your back knee. And in our lunge pose here, taking some gentle movements, shifting your weight forward and back. We're massaging those quads and thighs here. And exploring this movement for 2 more breaths. And back to center. Once again, your weight in between both of your legs. Deep inhale, reach up with both arms, palms facing each other. Letting your energy flow through your fingertips here. Letting that front body open. Maybe you found a gentle back bend here. Inhale and exhale, bending the elbows, palms facing forward. We're drawing the shoulder blades together to open that front body. Take a deep inhale and deep exhale. Bring your left hand next to your foot and your right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Do like a different stretch, you can bend your elbow and place your hand at your lower back. Inhale and exhale, the right hand coming down to the mat as well. And this time the left arm reaches up for that gentle counter stretch. Reaching up towards the sky with your fingertips, or once again, you can bend your elbow. And 2 more breaths here. One last inhale. And exhale, lowering both hands down. Coming back to all fours. And for the other side, stepping that left foot between your hands. Finding that lunge pose. And beginning to shift forward and back. We're taking these movements for another moment in time, making your lunge as deep or as shallow as you would like. And back to stillness. We're finding our balance, pressing our weight into each point of contact with the earth. As we do, inhale, reaching up towards the ceiling once again through those fingertips. Maybe your fingertips reach back ever so slightly, letting the hips come forward for that gentle back bend. Deep inhale. And exhale, bend the elbows for our cactus pose, opening the front body. Taking 2 more breaths, holding here. And inhale, exhale, that right hand comes down, and we reach up towards the ceiling through our left fingertips. And finding that balance, you can once again bend your elbow here. And we're holding here for 2 more breaths. One last inhale. And as we exhale, that left hand comes down to the mat, and we reach up through the right arm. And we're holding here for 3 more breaths. One last deep inhale. And as we exhale, both hands come down to the mat, bringing that left knee to meet the right. And for a moment in time, we're going to take a gentle child's pose, shifting your hips to sit on your ankles and reaching towards the front of your mat with your fingertips. You're holding here for a moment in time, letting your head hang to reach towards the earth. And we're taking 3 more breaths in this pose. One last deep inhale and deep exhale. And on this next breath, shift your weight forward, your hips coming up off your heels. And we're going to keep going forward, letting our hips come down to the mat, our stomach, repositioning your hands so your forearms and your hands are flat on the mat for our Sphinx pose. We're lying completely on our stomachs with our upper body lifted up off the mat. And hold here for a moment in time, drawing your shoulder blades together. Letting your inhales lift your body ever so slightly up off the mat. And exhale. Tuck your toes under you, about your mat's distance apart. Press your weight into your hands. And we're coming back into our downward dog. Pushing your hips, your heels down into the earth. Your hips up towards the sky. We're holding here for just a moment in time. And 2 more breaths here. One last inhale. And one last exhale, coming back down to the mat. All the way down, completely flat on your stomach. Your arms lying at your sides. Want you to bend your right knee and reach towards it with your hand, gently pulling that foot up, feeling that stretch in the front of your thigh. And dropping that leg, other side. And both legs. This is the beginning of a bow pose here. We're not going to go into full bow. We're still holding our heels towards our glutes and letting our shoulders draw away from our ears. One last deep inhale and deep exhale, and dropping all your limbs, letting them fall to the mat. Reach your hands up overhead. Point your toes and take a deep full body stretch. Now, however you want to get there, roll it over to come onto your back. Once you're here, I want you to bend both your knees, hug them into your chest, and begin rocking back and forth ever so slightly. Finding that gentle massage in the lower back here. And if you would like more of a hip opener, you can do happy baby, grabbing your toes and spreading your knees apart. Whatever you feel your body needs. And hugging our knees to our chest, we're going to drop the left leg, let it extend out, pulling that right knee in towards your chest. Begin drawing small circles with your toes here, and opposite direction. Back to stillness. Taking a deep inhale, deep exhale, dropping the left knee over, or the right knee over to the left side. Letting your knee fall down to the earth, letting your hips come up off the mat. And exploring our deepest mid-body twist yet, letting the breath expand your stomach and feel that massage. We're holding for 2 more breaths. And back to center. Letting the right leg fall and extend out. And bending that left knee into your chest. Draw small circles with your ankle. And the opposite way. Returning to stillness. And we're repeating on the opposite side. So deep inhale here. And exhale, dropping the knee over to the right side. And we're holding here for a moment in time, feeling that movement in your lower spine, all the way through your mid-spine. Keeping both your shoulders on the mat. And 2 more breaths here. One last deep inhale. And exhale, unwind here. Drop your left leg, let it meet the right. We're going to inhale to reach both your arms up towards the ceiling and then up overhead, pointing the toes, reaching through the fingertips and through the toes, taking a deep full body stretch. And exhale, relax. Inhale, arms reach up towards the ceiling. And exhale, they fall to the earth. Finding where your body naturally lays, where it naturally falls. If your eyes aren't closed, let them flutter closed. As we wind down our practice, we revisit the beginning of our practice. Revisit the intention you set. Revisiting that moment of quiet and of serenity. You're bringing all your awareness onto yourself, into just this moment, into the physical sensations of the mat supporting your body, of the earth completely caressing you. As you inhale, we're inhaling positive thoughts, and exhale, releasing any tension. Allow any thoughts you have to come into your mind and release them. They don't serve you right now. As you rest here, sending yourself what you need to hear for the rest of the day. You deserve this moment. You deserve all the good things that happen to you, all the good things you create, all the good people in your life. You deserve happiness and peace. Become aware of the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Become aware of the physical sensation of your body. Slowly bringing your consciousness back, bringing all the peace you found back to this moment with you. Take some gentle movements, starting in your toes, wiggling your toes, rocking your heels back and forth, wiggling your fingertips, taking any movements you feel your body needs as you begin to warm up and come back to this moment. As you lie here, thanking yourself for today's practice, thanking yourself for everything you do for yourself. And when you feel ready, rolling over onto either side. And at your own pace, coming back to meet us in the center of your mat. Finding those prayer hands, keeping your eyes closed if you wish. I want to thank you for joining me for today's practice. As always, the light in me honors and bows to the light in you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste. And we're done recording.